Now, the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament has raised eyebrows over a 72% increase in rent payment of the Youth Employment Agency from 3.2 million cedis to 5.5 million cedis between the year 2023 and 2024. Now, management of the YEA states that the rent payment started when the facility it currently occupies was handed over to KA developers as private managers by the Ministry of Works and Housing in 2023. Now, appearing before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, the leadership questioned management of the YEA over a silence on the surge in rent payment. Here are excerpts of proceedings.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The YEA has occupied our current facility since 2010. And initially, per my understanding, it was a government facility fully owned and managed by the Ministry of Works and Housing. And so the YEA in past times had not paid any amount in the form of rent to the Ministry of Works and Housing. Somewhere in 2023, the facility was handed over to the facility, a private manager, that's K&A management, facility management group. And the YEA sat and went into talks with them because the plan was now for the YEA to pay rent to the facility manager who manages the facility, and then you have the facility manager also pay an amount to the Works and Housing. Honorable Chair, let it be noted that in past it wasn't free, but because it was government to government, most often you find government agencies defaulting and paying their rents to other government agencies. So in the wisdom of the Ministry of Works and Housing, they thought that handing it over to a private manager will ensure that government agencies pay, because once you don't pay, then it means you are packing out of their facility. And so in 2023, the rent was paid. In 2024, the facility manager decided to upgrade a lot of amenities within the facility, and so it led to the astronomical rise of in rent payment. But in 2024, after 2024, after the audit review, we agreed with the recommendations made that the YEA should take steps in finding a permanent facility so we avoid the payment of rent. And so my minister and I had engaged, like he said, with the chief of staff to try and get us accommodation, a permanent place where we'll do away with rent payment. And I think that is in our interest, because if we have to spend about 4 million cedis paying rent, when we could have used that amount of money to 5 point something, when we could have used that amount of money in creating jobs for the young people out there, it goes a long way to support our cause. And so we are in talks to ensuring that we get a permanent place and we finally do away with rent payment. And so hopefully, Honorable Chair, by next year, I'm sure that plans would begin in getting us a permanent facility to operate from. Thank you.
Honorable CEO, you came with some officials from your outfit. Who was there when this thing was done?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My Director Finance was there.
So let him speak to it.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Since you were in there, let them speak to it.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think my internal auditor was part of the team who engaged with the facility manager. Unfortunately, he's here, so I would want him to give insight into that.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
It's a building for government.
Yes, the building is for Works and Housing. Yes, so in 2022, we were summoned to the ministry, and then we were asked to contact K&A, which is a private company, to manage the facility, because the facility is in somehow a bad shape. So after the discussion in 2023, then they brought a bill. So the bill is that if we are not able to pay, then we have to pack out and look for our own facility. So we were compelled to go by that since we're not having any facility at that moment. So, Mr. Chair, that is why we are still there and we are paying the rent.
Internal auditor.
Sir, so before 2022, what was the arrangement? Who gave you that facility? Is it from the presidency? Is it from your ministry? Because Works and Housing is a government agency. If Works and Housing, and their mandate is to provide such facilities to government agencies. Now, I won't fault them in engaging a third party.
Let's get more from the PAC sit-ins today. Our correspondent Christian Yale is there for us. Christian, talk to us. We understand you engaged the YEA CEO after this. What did he say?
Yes, and so according to Malik Basintali, the CEO for the YEA, the agency has been able to undertake some validation, out of which it has been able to pay some 2-month arrears for various beneficiaries serving under different modules that fall under the Youth Employment Agency. He goes ahead to even answer questions about whether or not the YEA is considering a potential renewal of the Zoom Lion contract and what happens to even the fate of beneficiaries who were serving under the sanitation module before this contract was terminated. But he mentions that it is a decision that Cabinet must take. We can take a listen to what he has been telling the media.
What people do not understand are the different contracts that are awarded. It lies in the scope of contract. The YEA scope of contract is different from that of the assemblies. So whatever monies are given to the assemblies are to focus on a different scope of work. What we get is to focus on the main road and 0.5 meters beside the main road. And so our part of the sanitation model is still at cabinet level. And at the last release of the presidency, you realize that His Excellency the President, in his good wisdom, stated that he had put together a team to set the new modalities and ensure that the tenders are done at the district and regional levels for transparency. When I took over office, you remember that I had to swear by my late father's grave that we're not going to sign any contract that will pay them 258 cedis. I said so because 258 cedis was unreasonable, and in this modern era, paying someone 250, in fact, dashing someone 258 cedis even means you've done nothing. Not to talk of paying someone 258 cedis as salary. If you dash someone 258 cedis today, you only say thank you because it's free money, but not because you'll be able to do a lot for him. And I said I was not going to pay them, and I still stand by that. And so, in any future contract we're going to go into, I would not pay any beneficiary less than the minimum wage.